Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Football Betting Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Pipkin. I'm joined as ever by my co-host, Tom Walker.
Hi guys, welcome to the show. Viewers and listeners, new and old, it's great to have you on board.
Tom, you've got a lovely kit on today.
It's fantastic, isn't it? It's even got the laces in the collar.
I
It's
know.
unbelievable.
You know you're going all out for the win at Kit Wars when you've got nice little laces in the collar and everything. I'm just seeing my little old Juve shirt, and then
Yeah, but maybe people prefer the more modern shirts. Who knows? I went up 4-3. I was 3-0 up, blew a 3-0 lead. You brought it back to 3-3, and then I got back on top on the weekend. So we'll see what happens this weekend. Frustrating. Again, Tom, second week in a row, we've lost by one team, and that one team has been performing excellently right up until we need them. The first week it was Forest. We've seen now how good Forest can be. They threw in their worst performance under Cooper when we needed them. And Bolton, flying, and could only manage a draw due to getting a red card, right? That was Achilles' heel.
Right. Yeah. So that is the bomb-proof trebles, of course, guys. So yeah, we've hit the crossbar in 2 of the last 3 trebles, winning the one before that, of course. So yeah, we'll bring you another treble at the end of this show. And as ever, you can get the trebles at an industry best price with our sponsors at matchbook.com. Bag yourself a £20 money back as cash sign-up offer when you use TFB podcast during the registration stage of the sign-up process. So yeah, Tom, on to the football for this week. We've got Prem, Champ, League One, League Two. We'll go through picking out our best bits of the lot. We've talked before we've come on air, and it is very much Prem and Champ centric, isn't it, this weekend? League One and Two is a tough old docket for League One and League Two.
Yeah, well, when you come across Rotherham and Forest Green and you don't fancy either of them to win, it's a tough docket.
Yeah.
It's very top heavy, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a good quantity of tips as well as quality. I found a lot that I liked, particularly in the second tier.
Yeah, the second tier, the Championship, is going to be the Tom Walker section, I think.
I'll try to keep it brief. But yeah, really looking forward to what's going to be a good week. Are we at the business end yet? We're not there yet, are we?
Not quite.
Can't use that cliche yet.
No, there's some teams have just played their 24th game in the Prem. So there's still 14 to go. So yeah, I don't think we're quite in the business end yet.
It feels like we've turned a corner though. We're on the downhill slope.
It's kind of like when you see people running on a 400-meter track.
Yeah,
we're just approaching the bend that leads into the final straight. Maybe
that's a great analogy.
Yeah, we're coming along the back straight. We're just approaching the bend, I think.
And some of the teams are sprinting, some of them are jogging, and some of them fell over ages ago.
Yeah, pretty much. So we'll kick off then with Manchester United against Southampton. United at 1.64 for the win, the home side. This is 12:30 on Saturday. The draw is 4.3, and the Saints, Southampton, they're 6.0 to get the win. All odds we read out on the show today are going to be taken from our sponsors' website, matchbook.com. Tom Walker, first game of the weekend in the Prem. Anything that you've got your eye on here?
Yeah, both teams to score. Don't know about you.
Took it right off me. Yeah, I had the same. Yeah,
1.79 at Matchbook. I'll go through my little pieces and you can add on anything that I've missed off. But basically, United are just so defensively vulnerable, and Southampton have really turned a corner recently in terms of actually being able to score goals. Remember, United have conceded 3 more than Burnley this season. They've got the 10th best defence in the league. Isn't that incredible?
It's bad.
It's absolutely awful.
You think pre-season they bring in Varane, and you think, oh yeah, that's really going to help shore them up. But I think it's not pinning this on Varane whatsoever. But people around Varane are certainly not performing.
No, I think it's obviously Maguire's an issue, but I think it's a platform issue in midfield. To be honest with you, I don't think they get enough defence at all. I think Wan-Bissaka's been poor all season. He's lost his spot now, and I don't think Luke Shaw has reached the heights of last season. But yeah, 2 clean sheets at Old Trafford all season. And Southampton, Tom, have scored in 9 consecutive games. Like, I can't remember the last time Southampton were this prolific, to be honest. And yeah, they've scored more than Tottenham Hotspur this season, Southampton. And that's Spurs with Kane and Son and the rest of them. So yeah, 1.79 I'm backing.
Yeah, to add to that then, you mentioned Man United have got a ropey defensive record. Southampton not kept a clean sheet for 14 consecutive games. They've had 9 consecutive games be both teams to score. And I was just looking at the head-to-heads between these two sides. And if we take aside the 9-0 that was about a year ago to the week almost, last year, there's been some entertaining games recently between these two. You've got a couple of 2-alls in there, a couple of 3-2s in there, a couple of 1-alls as well. And that's all in the last 6-7 games. So, yeah, generally, when these two sides meet, both teams have been hitting the back of the net.
Lovely.
So we'll move on to Brentford Palace then. 2.7 for Brentford, 3.1 for the draw, and 3.0 for Palace. Brentford on a shocking run of form. I think they've lost, 6 in a row now in the Prem? Mm-hmm. I don't trust Palace enough to confidently tip them for the win. I certainly don't think they'll lose, so maybe double chance is one to look at here. But yeah, Brentford are poor, but don't trust Palace quite enough to tip them outright.
Yeah, this is going to be a theme, just to let everyone know. So buckle up. But both teams to score for me. 2.0, even money. 14 games since a clean sheet for Brentford. 14 games. And in that time, they average exactly 1 goal 4 per game. So they are scoring at an okay rate. I mean, that's not great, but obviously we need them to score for the bet to come in. And they are scoring pretty much every game on average. They've scored in 4 of their last 6, and Palace have scored in 7 consecutive games. And they've just got such attacking flair. Zaha was so dangerous, even though he missed a hilarious penalty against Norwich. Olise is really starting to catch the attention of fans. And obviously they've got Eze to come back. Gallagher's been a threat. They're 8th for goals scored in the league this season, Palace. And I don't see why they don't score past this shocking defence at the Brentford Community Stadium, is it?
Yeah, I think that's right, mate. Yeah.
So 2.0 for me.
Nice. Okay. On to our next both teams to score then, which I'm sure you've got written down for this game. Everton against Leeds. Am I right?
It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. What matters is, I mean, yes, but this is the one I like the least. And that's because,
really?
Tom, it's because 1.59, right? I'd rather back the Brentford Palace one at evens because I just think this is the Leeds factor, right? As soon as you see Leeds, especially at the moment, you think both teams will score. I just think it's factored into the price. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely a much worse price as we can see. But Leeds without a clean sheet in 9 consecutive games. Everton, their opponents, without a clean sheet in 12 consecutive games. Both teams have scored in 9 of the last 10 Everton games as well. So I think statistically, we understand why it's 1.59. I think, factored well into the price here.
Yeah, Leeds are just back to being 2021 Leeds, aren't they? Basically, or 2020 to 2021 season. They had that moment, that kind of turning point. They drew 0-0 with Brighton in December, and since then their average score has been 1.5 to Leeds, 2.5 to the opposition. So yeah, combined, that's 4 goals a game. Combined in those matches, and that's 14 games worth of data that we're clawing from. So yeah, they're really back to letting them in and scoring at the other end, which is great for both teams to score, stating the obvious.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Watford Brighton then. Anything that you liked here? I wasn't entirely sure. If anything, for me, I was kind of looking along the lines of it being more of a cagey affair, maybe an under 2.5 kind of game. Watford's first home game under Roy Hodgson. Interesting to see how they perform. Brighton, they're without a win in 4 consecutive games, without a clean sheet in 7 as well. So, yeah, I didn't really know what to go for here other than thinking it may be a cagey one.
Yeah, I think so. I think Roy the boy's going to set up from the back, and he's going to build a platform for them to at least start from. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure here. I did like the look of maybe going with Brighton because I think we can be quick to forget how good they've been this season, but with Roy Hodgson, that's the biggest question mark over this match for me. So to be honest, I left it alone.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, then for Saturday, Norwich against Man City. As you'd expect, Man City very short, 1.19 to get the win. Norwich, big outsiders at 20.0. Did you find any nuggets other than a Man City win? Because I'm assuming, I certainly don't think there's going to be any kind of upset here, and I'm assuming you're going to
No.
think likewise.
Yeah, absolutely no way. You know that I think Norwich. I think Norwich have been really lucky recently. They've played teams at the right time when they're literally on their knees. Norwich have capitalised. They should have lost in midweek. Obviously, penalties are missed normally, and there's never a guarantee when someone's on the spot. But Zaha's slip is kind of a 1 in a million. So they could have easily lost that game. I've gone for City away and over 2.5. It's 1.6. I don't think they'll have any issues carving Norwich open. Remember, Norwich do still have the worst defence in the league. So even though they've upturned a little bit, it's still the same players, give or take, that have been conceding goals all season. Don't see why it will stop now.
Yeah, agreed. Feel a bit disappointed in City that they didn't score more than 2 past Brentford in midweek at home.
Yeah,
But
Brentford defended well, didn't they? They really
yeah,
did. So
yeah,
credit to
yeah,
them. But yeah.
yeah. I definitely think they could get 2, 3, maybe more if they're really on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that one to squeeze a little bit more out of it. Sunday games then, we've got 3 2 o'clock kickoffs. This is really a running theme this season, isn't it? Having 3 2 o'clock kickoffs on a Sunday.
Mm.
Burnley Liverpool is the first one. Liverpool favourites, as you'd expect, at 1.33. The draw's 5.8 and Burnley outsides at 11.5. I think Liverpool will win. And that's where I'll leave it, to be honest. I don't feel, like we're looking at Man City and we're thinking that there's a very distinct possibility it could be an overs game as well. The over 2.5s, maybe over 3.5, whatever. When it's Burnley, and Liverpool have got Salah and Mane just returning from a long stint at AFCON, I feel like I don't quite trust them to absolutely tonk Burnley 3-4-5-0. So I'm just going to stick with Liverpool on the nose here.
Yeah, Liverpool on the nose. I agree with you, especially Sean Dyche team. Unless they're away at Man City, which is their annual spanking, they don't tend to get beat too heavily. So yeah, and a decent, even though we don't rate United, a good performance from Burnley against United in midweek. So yeah, Liverpool
definitely.
on the nose, nothing more.
Yeah, definitely. Newcastle Villa then is up next. Really intriguing game. 2.82 for Newcastle, 3.5 for the draw, and 2.66 for Villa. Now, we saw last weekend Newcastle got the victory against Everton, or last weekend, midweek, beating Everton 3-1. So a fantastic win for them. Took them briefly outside of the relegation spots. I didn't have anything in particular down for this game. I don't know about you.
Both teams to score 1.7.
Really, where's the drum? Put out a drum roll into the post
Yeah, a
recording.
bit of production in there. But no, honestly,
Yeah.
I just think when there's Alan St. Maximin, there's a chance. I watched the Everton game from minute 1 to minute 90, whatever. And, his decision making at times drives me up the wall, and sometimes he doesn't pass the ball. But my God, 4 or 5 times he just absolutely destroyed fullbacks and defenders and cut the ball back. And he for me is probably head and shoulders the best player in like the bottom 5 or so. Newcastle have scored in 4 of their last 6. That's even that's even without Callum Wilson, and that's kind of before they finish their transfer business as well. So you got to give them a little bit of credit there. 1 clean sheet in their last 8. It's the second worst defence in the league. Obviously, they've got 3 new defenders in the team now, so maybe that's about to change with Dan Burn, Kieran Trippier, Matt Targett coming in. And Villa have scored in 5 of their last 6, and Coutinho was absolutely sensational in midweek. He scored and laid on 2. His assists were so simple, but the highest quality. They're so easy to get wrong, but it's just, you watch that and they're just through balls to a regular fan. But honestly, if you slow that down and you really appreciate the quality of the pace of the ball, etc., it's absolutely sublime. Jacob Ramsey at the double in midweek. I think with those 2 and the Newcastle kind of threat from Sam Maximin, maybe a 1-1 here, 1.7, that would be enough.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Right up next, then we've got Spurs at home to Wolves. So Spurs are 1.68 for the win. The draw's 3.85, and Wolves are 5.9. What's that sound? It's me being sucked in by a price.
the matchbook vacuum.
Yeah, it's sucking me in.
Go on.
I was looking at Spurs and I just think 1.68 for Spurs on the nose I think that's really short. I don't feel comfortable backing them at that price, to be honest. So naturally, I looked at Wolves and I was thinking, right now as we record, they're playing Arsenal. They're losing 1-0 at home, which is a result I didn't really expect, but I'm not going to let that sway me from what I was going to say anyway. Coming into that Arsenal game, unbeaten in 5, winning 4. We've seen them draw against Chelsea 0-0. They've gone away to Man United, won 1-0, beaten in form Southampton 3-1. So this is a Wolves team that were, coming into this game in generally very good form. The 2.34 on double chance, so for Wolves to either win or draw. And I saw that 2.34 and I thought, crikey, that seems like a good price to me. So I've been well and truly sucked in. I think with Spurs, even though they have been getting some good results under Conte, as long as they don't play Chelsea, I'm not fully convinced yet. I'm really not. And yeah, I don't know, that 3-2 loss to Southampton, that topsy-turvy game midweek, hasn't exactly helped their cause in my eyes, really. So yeah, I just think the form that Wolves are on, if we take this Arsenal game aside, because I did research before that game started. I think Wolves at 2.34 is a good price.
I like it. I do. I left this game alone, mainly because I'm still learning about Tottenham. I'm still trying to figure out if they're good or not. I have no idea at the moment. Sometimes I like what I see, and sometimes I think, wow, like they're miles off. So until I have a better feeling, I think I'll leave it. But in that process where I'm trying to figure out, and maybe the bookies are trying to find out if they're any good or not, that's where we're going to get some good prices like this. So credit to you.
100%. Finally then, Leicester against West Ham. 2.86 for Leicester, 3.65 for the draw, 2.52 for West Ham. Both teams to score by any chance?
No.
No.
Oh. I'm actually tipping up away team goals over 1.5. So
yeah, I love that.
West Ham to score over 1.5. It's 2.12. It's a lovely price, honestly. Leicester are just a mess at the moment. I mean, I looked at their starting lineup, and Amati and Ndidi are still centre backs. It's their two central defensive midfielders. James Justin is rusty. He's coming back. Luke Thomas is young and is finding his feet. He's going to be a really good player, but maybe not now. I also had a look, Tom, at some research before the Liverpool game, which they are on the brink of losing 2-0. So you got to factor that into this research, but it's all just bad research. So you can just add a layer of bad onto it, to be honest. Conceded on average 2.5 goals a game in their last 6. And Rodgers under huge pressure at the moment. Fans are, rightly or wrongly, really upset with where the club is going at the moment and the direction. I think maybe they're being a bit spoiled, but hey ho, they've got their right to their opinion. And they're playing against West Ham, who have scored in 9 of 10. They've got one of the most devastating players in the league this season, Jarrod Bowen. I am absolutely convinced if this guy was called João Santos de Pedro Silva and he'd come from the Brazilian second division, I think people will be absolutely raving about him. And I know he does get some media coverage and stuff, but I just don't think we're giving him enough. I think because his name is Jarrod Bowen, he came from Hull. Like, we're not allowed to think that this guy could play for a top 4 team. He absolutely can. And if I was Gareth Southgate, I'd have my eye firmly on him. He scored again in midweek. Yes, it was deflected, but he made it happen by coming centrally. I fancy West Ham to win. I wasn't 100%, but if you do want the combination, I've researched it for you. So West Ham to win and over 1.5 goals for them and them alone, 2.82.
Nice, yeah. I had written down over 2.5 at 1.69, so much worse in terms of the price. I fully agree with your reasoning, everything that you said for West Ham. I think they'll score a couple of goals here, so probably worth taking that better price that you've tipped up. But I was just looking at the games, mate. The games between these two, it's just goals, goals, goals. And just to quickly rattle through some now, this is going back 3-4 seasons. You've got in order 2-0, 1-1, 2-2, 2-1, 4-1, 3-0, 3-2, 4-1. Wow. So minimum of two goals, and that's there's only a couple of games there that have had 2 goals. The majority have had more. I think again we'll see goals. It wouldn't surprise me if West Ham won this 2-1, 3-1, something like that. I think it'd be an entertaining one.
Agreed.
And that then is everything, right, for the Premier League this week?
Yeah, so just want to take a moment just to talk about Matchbook, our partners for the 2021-22 season. We're absolutely loving being in partnership with them, and we want to bring you guys a sign-up offer. So if you head to matchbook.com, if you're a new customer and use TFB Podcast as the sign-up code, you'll get a £20 money back as cash offer. So your first bet is essentially risk-free. If it loses, you get £20 back as cash, withdrawable cash. And obviously, if it wins, then happy days. Your funds grow in Matchbook. The interface, the experience, the customer service on the live chat, all that stuff is second to none. We thoroughly recommend that you check it out. And by doing so, you'll also be supporting the pod as well. And Tom is going to quickly mention their boosted bomb-proof treble section that has proved to be very popular.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? So Matchbook do offer a pre-made bomb-proof treble, which you're going to read out at the end of the show. So I'm not going to say what it is right now. You've got to listen in for a little bit longer. But yeah, it is an industry best price. We're in constant communication with Matchbook. If there's a bookie, sports book, exchange out there that beats Matchbook's displayed pre-made bomb-proof treble price, we just let them know and they change it and beat it. It's as simple as that. They're giving us the best price for you guys. And as a bonus, you can use that sign-up offer, that £20 money back as cash, in conjunction with the bomb-proof treble. So if you like what we're tipping out as a bomb-proof treble, you want to back us, you can do so £20 completely risk-free. And it's a big price this weekend. Mini spoiler alert. So
Oh, it's a
you miss
sizzler.
out.
Yeah,
It's just
it's a sizzler. Can't wait to read that out later on. Tom, let's take the elevator down to the second tier.
Mhm.
Get us kicked off, mate. Championship.
Yeah,
What we backing?
yeah. Well, it just makes me chuckle because we spoke beforehand, and I was like, yeah, I've got this many in the Prem, this many I like in the Champ, this many in League One, this many in League Two, and you went, yeah, I've got eight in the Champ. Eight. So we're going to go through pretty much the entire league, I think, here. But
I'll do my best to keep it brief.
so I'll start before you take the few that I have.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Let's talk about Forest. Come on, where better to start than Forest? They're home to Stoke this weekend. 2.36 is a price for us, and potentially, we're Forest fans. That's well known. There may be a bit of bias coming into this, but I feel like we're unbeatable at the moment. If we put aside that shocking result against Cardiff a couple of weeks ago that cost a bomb-proof treble and we lost 2-1, we've been absolutely fantastic, game in, game out. Obviously beat Arsenal and Leicester in the FA Cup, 4-1 against Leicester, absolutely fantastic. Really good value for all our wins. These aren't wins where we kind of squeaked it out and kind of robbed the 3 points, as you'd say. We've been really good value for all of them. Went away in midweek to Blackburn, best home performing team in the league, beat them 2-0 in a really competitive, highly fought game. I think coming back at home in this game against Stoke, I think we can continue the run. We've got so much momentum. The players are on form. The fans are loving it. The City ground is going to be absolutely rocking again, as it has been week in, week out at the moment. And I just think it's going to carry us to another 3 points. It's not going to be easy. Stoke are a good side. They're in 10th, 11th, I think, in the Champ right now. But We're in 6th. We're looking upwards. And I think it's a good price for Forest to get another win this weekend, 2.36.
Yep, I'm happy with that. Got it wrote down myself. I'm just going to mention one point because it's a good segue into a tip that I have. I just think that Forest's performance levels at the moment are above what I've seen from Stoke this season at any stage. So I feel like if Forest turn on the Derby performance, the Arsenal performance, the Blackburn performance, the Leicester performance, which have all been in this year, right, since the turn of the year, I don't see that Stoke have the answers. I respect they are a very good team. I respect that they will beat a lot of other teams. I like their youthful core that has kind of sprung out of nowhere. I really like that. I think that, a lot of the time Stoke have had older players that it's hard to really get behind, but they've got this exciting core and I expect them to do well against majority of teams, but I don't think they'll be able to reach Forest performance level. And that is exactly the same for Middlesbrough against Derby. So Middlesbrough, the home side, 1.69. I respect Derby. I respect for what they've done on the field. It looks like they're going to stay up. So, providing they can find a buyer, I'd be, at this stage, they're 4 points off survival. I'll be surprised if they don't survive, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because they've been consistently a top half team all season. There's no signs of why that would slow down. The January transfer window's closed. They're not going to lose any more players. I don't think anyone's on short-term contracts or anything like that. I expect them to stay up now, which is incredible. But Middlesbrough's highest performance level this season, they beat Forest unbelievably convincingly. And even though they only drew against QPR on the weekend, it was another 9 out of 10 performance from them. Levels that I've only seen from Fulham, really, this season. They got the joint third best home record in the league. Listen, there's no disgrace Derby going there and losing. Absolutely none. It's expected. And I think Middlesbrough, as long as they're on it, 1.69 will be a comfortable routine home win.
Yeah, I agree. I think Derby are definitely a much different proposition at home at Pride Park than they are away. They've lost just 2 of 15 games at home, However, if we flip that on its head, away from home, they've only actually won 2 of 15 games. So, yeah, they've not travelled particularly strongly. I think it's the 21st best home record in the Championship. So, yeah, home is where the heart is for Derby at the moment. Middlesbrough, yeah, Riverside, very tough place to go. I'm also looking at a team, well, QPR against Barnsley. QPR is a tip. 2.1 is the price for QPR. I think that's a really good price. Barnsley are shocking, aren't they? They're absolutely shocking. They've won one game in the league since September.
They're appalling.
One game. It's dreadful. I I don't want to lay it on too thick for Barnsley, but
No, do it.
QPR are in
They're
fourth in the league.
horrendous.
They're fourth. QPR are fourth in the league, 3 points off the automatic promotion places. Barnsley, they've lost 6 in a row, no clean sheets in 8. Won one game since September. That was against Derby. I think they're terrible, absolutely terrible. I watched them against Forest with my own eyes. They were useless, absolutely useless. So yeah, I'd fancy anyone against Barnsley right now. 2.1 for QPR looks like a gift.
I agree. Barnsley are mid-table at best League One side. They're just in
Yes,
the wrong. They're in the wrong division.
agreed.
Luton. So Luton, Tom, pre-season we thought they'd do quite well. They might be playoff dark horses. They got off to a good start. Then they didn't look all that. They looked pretty mid-table. But now they are well within the playoff hunt. They're away at Birmingham, 2.58. They're one of the form teams in the league, joint second best over the last 8 games. Birmingham still aren't very good. I know they've got a couple of decent results, but I've watched them twice in the last month live, and they've been absolutely horrendous. I don't know how they took the lead against Sheffield United, really. I know Sheffield United had a goal that was offside. That was the last time I watched them and everything. But toxic home atmosphere, kind of disjointed build-up play, no real attacking flair. They can't string 4 passes together without it bobbling out of play, or I don't know. They're just not a very fluid team at all. No clean sheets in 12 for Birmingham. I'm backing Luton here. I think they can go there and get a comfortable win, to be honest. I think Luton are playing really well. And no one's talking about them, really. And that's just how they like it, I think.
Yeah, I'm really worried about Luton. That playoff the playoff area. There's Luton, Forest, Middlesbrough, Sheffield United, Huddersfield, QPR. There's a lot of teams. It's really competitive, and I keep seeing Luton win and win and win. I'm thinking, can you please just drop off a little bit, please? Come on.
They'll be saying the same about our team, mate.
Yeah. I think I might have found like a little nugget at a good price here. Birmingham, the amount of goals that have been in Birmingham's games recently doesn't seem to quite be reflected in the price. So 10 of the last 11 Birmingham games have been over 2.5. Over 2.5 in this game is priced at 2.28. So for such a strong stat for these Birmingham games, having lots of goals, 2.28 is a pretty good price, I think.
Nice. I'd go with that.
Yeah, because Luton certainly aren't goal shy.
No. Do you have any more? I feel like you might be tapped out.
I was going to mention Fulham. I think Fulham will beat Hull. 1.7 is the price for Fulham. Obviously, pretty much, I think it's safe to say that Fulham are going to get promoted from the Championship this season. Looking strong. They're 8 points clear of third place Blackburn, and they do have 2 games in hand still as well. Mitrovic recently hit his 30th goal of the season, and I think, their away form is among the best in the league. They've had a couple of 7-0 wins on the road already this season, put 4 past Forest on the road, so they've had some strong results away from home. And I think this Hull side had a little bit of a new manager bounce, quickly evaporated. They've lost the last 2 games. I think Fulham coming to town in good form. I think they'll get a comfortable win.
Agreed. I'm going to bring us to Friday night. I'm going to bring us to the early kickoff. Huddersfield, Sheffield United, 2.24. I'm back in the Blades. I know Huddersfield's form looks good, but I think the fixture list has been really kind. Preston, Barnsley, Derby, Stoke, Reading, and Swansea. I mean, you're only a Peterborough off having a very comfortable little ride there, aren't you? I'm still
Yeah.
unconvinced. I know they're right up there, but I'm really not convinced by them. I don't have them anywhere near my final top 6 if you ask me right now. And Heckingbottom's got the Blades purring really right at the perfect time with that kind of 200-meter turn that we're on at the moment before the sprint. Billy Sharp on absolute fire. 1 defeat in 11 in the league for Sheffield United. I think that's a great price, 2.24 there. I'm also going to follow that one up with talking about Preston again, but this time to win. So Preston away at Peterborough, 2.16. I mean, Peterborough are starting to look not dead certs, but it's starting to look very, very scary now for posh fans. It's starting to look like them and Barnsley might be almost certain. McAntony had to come out on Twitter midweek, which he doesn't need an invitation to do, but there was rumours that Darren Ferguson had been sacked. He came out and he said, absolute rubbish. But even those whispers and stuff, it's not good for the club at all. They got the worst defence in the league, 59 goals conceded. And the pressure's on Peterborough now with Derby very clearly not in the driving seat, but coming up behind them at a frantic pace. They lost 4-0 in their last game against a relegation rival or someone they could catch in Cardiff. Very worrying signs. And second worst in the league over the last 8. Preston, the reason I like backing Preston at the moment, they are playing with mid-table freedom. Absolute mid-table freedom. All they're trying to do is keep form going. Lowe's just trying to work out who he likes, what he wants, who's doing well. And they're not on the beach because we can't use that in February. But they're not going to go up. They're not going to go down. So they're just building for next season, which gives them a freedom. And, with Cameron Archer, an exciting signing from Aston Villa on loan, I think we can trust Preston to get the job done. And then the final one is Coventry. They're away as well, 2.02. And again, Reading, just an absolute mess, aren't they? They've started to get, they were awful. And then we were saying, right, well, they are bad, but Lucas João's going to come back. And this guy's going to come back. And this guy's going to come back. But they're starting to come back and they're still bad. I don't know how Paunovic is still the manager. I'm guessing it might be a compensation thing. Maybe they can't afford to sack him. Maybe they're not allowed to sack him. I don't know. But, no wins in 10, lost 3 at home in a row. And Coventry remain a good side. I know they're not third or whatever they were at the start of the season, but they're only 5 points off the playoffs despite being in mid-table. No wins in their last 3 for Coventry, but I'm not worried because those fixtures were Blackpool. They'll give anyone a game. Southampton in the Prem and Borough away, which we've just said is one of the hardest games in the league. So I still have faith in Coventry to get results and go close to the playoffs. And I think another team, away from home at over evens, just 2.02. Can't really ignore it, I don't think.
Yeah, so a lot of teams that we like, or a lot of things that we like at good prices, isn't there? Kind of that evens and over mark in the champ.
Definitely.
So could potentially be very profitable, fingers crossed. Does that wrap everything up for you for the champ?
Yes.
That was a real bumper championship, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So it's probably a good job because it's a very sparse League One. I have one thing that I like, and it's not even a strong thing. So,
okay, I have one thing, and mine's purely on narrative. I've got no stats to back it up at all. So you go first.
Maybe it's the same. Mine's Sunderland away at AFC Wimbledon.
Sunderland to what?
Sunderland are going to win, I think.
Mine's Wimbledon double chance. Wow. Yeah, mine's Wimbledon double chance at home to Sunderland. Okay, you go first. I feel like we're lawyers in a courtroom. You go
Yeah.
first with your case for Sunderland, and then I'll have my case for Wimbledon.
Okay, so my case for Sunderland is shocking. Lost the last three games under Mike Dodd's temporary charge since Lee Johnson was sacked. However, AFC Wimbledon are a very good opponent. They've not won in 12 consecutive games. And it's been announced that Alex Neil is going to take over at the Stadium of Light. And this is purely, I'm thinking, new manager factor. That is it. Nothing else. So if Alex Neil is in place in time for this game on Saturday, I'm thinking they've got a fantastic opponent in AFC Wimbledon who are in no sort of form whatsoever, that they can put on a performance for the new manager. The players want to stake their claim, put in a good show, put a shift in, get a win against definitely a beatable opposition, and kickstart Alex Neil's reign with 3 points. That's the reasoning I've got, and that's it.
Okay, you've definitely stumped me with the stats, because the stats for Wimbledon are frightening, to be honest. But I'm on the flip side. I'm on the flip side here. Alex Neil, I know he might be in charge, but he might not be. He might not want to be in charge for this game. He might want to start on Monday. This Dodds guy is getting absolute pelters from the Sunderland fans. People are questioning his team selection. He's only been in charge like 3 games, bless him. The Roy Keane thing, right? Not good PR. You know, the fact that he turned down the job, inverted commas, we don't know if that's true or not. And yeah, like I just don't feel like the new dawn of Alex Neil. I mean, let's say he is in charge, right? It's late on Thursday. So what's he going to do? Come in, teach him a new shape, teach him X, Y, and Z, give him a round in team talk, like, motivate him in the changing rooms, and they go out and win 4-0. It doesn't really work like that. Like,
No.
if he is in charge, it's just that's all he's got is that team talk. Whereas, like, I'm the man now. You got to impress me. Do this, do that. Like, I just feel like Sunderland are there not for the taking, but an opportunity for Wimbledon to get a result here. And I know they've been poor, but I still like what they're doing at Wimbledon. I think they're going in the right direction overall. It's just their form has been bad. But yeah, I'm just not ready to get with Sunderland at the moment. I don't like turmoil teams at all.
Yeah, they're definitely a turmoil team, and I agree. Alex Neil is certainly, for the fans anyway, they clearly wanted Roy Keane in charge, and to not get Roy Keane and then to get Alex Neil is somewhat of a come down for them, I'm sure. But
For them,
I don't know.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. It's Alex Neil's a much more practical and
Definitely.
shrewd appointment, I think, than Roy Keane. But it's not going to get easier after this game for Sunderland, I don't think, because they play MK Dons, Wigan, and Charlton in 3 of the next 4 games. So they're all tough games they've got coming up. Kind of need to get a good 3 points here to stand them in good stead for the tough games they've got to come. But yeah, anyway, I've got nothing else from League One. I think it's a really tough league. So sorry, League One fans, if you wanted more.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. I mean, exciting league. We love League One. It's just not enough to read out in terms of winners, unfortunately.
No. There's a lot of competitive teams in there at the moment, I think. Looking at some of the fixtures, MK Dons against Ipswich, Oxford against Bolton, Wigan against Charlton's in there. I think there's a lot of the teams you might usually look at and think, oh yeah, it might go for them. They're kind of playing each other.
And I looked at things like both teams to score for MK Dons Ipswich, because that leapt off the page at me. Then I had a look, and I didn't realise how good defensively MK Dons have been recently, and I haven't been impressed with Ipswich, even though they've been getting results. Performance-wise, no. So yeah, just not enough there for me. But I do have an absolute corker in League Two. I've got one tip, but it's an absolute banger.
Go on then, give us it.
Tranmere. They're away at Leisure Warsaw, 2.54 for Tranmere. We're getting absolutely cracking prices on Tranmere every week. Like, are
Yeah.
we missing something?
Yeah.
They've been
No,
in the driving seat for automatic promotion from pretty much day one. I don't know why we get these cracking prices, but anyway, Walsall managerless, so we're going into the unknown a little bit. Matty Taylor better at scoring 40-yard volleys than he is managing a football team, it seems. No win in 2022. Their last win, 7th of December for Walsall. Way, 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 way too long ago. And Tranmere, 1 loss in 9. And that defeat was against champions-elect Forest Green Rovers. We've mentioned that FGR are kind of head and shoulders above everyone else, really. So I don't think that's as bad as it looks. And although their defense is going from like superhuman, like record-breaking levels, it's just coming down to just really good now. It's still the best in the league, but it's plateauing a little bit. But they've still only conceded 20 goals, which is absolutely crazy. And to top it off, this is in the last 8-game form table. This is bottom at home to third. 2.54. I think it's an absolute corker.
Yeah, it's a good old price, isn't it? Really
Love
good
that.
price. I think they're the standout in League Two. I was looking at Mansfield. You know, we're big Mansfield fans at the moment, aren't we? Really reliable. 2.62 is a price for Mansfield away at Bristol Rovers. That could be something to look into. I think if you don't go for that, maybe Mansfield to score over 1.5 goals. I certainly think it's going to be an entertaining game. Mansfield are a team that have won 9 of the last 10 games. So, yeah, I think generally they've been very, very reliable. Bristol Rovers very inconsistent. Yeah, I do think they're a big price. It's certainly not the strongest tip of the weekend, and I've not particularly justified that with much research. But yeah, I just do like Mansfield.
Yes, I do. I do. I nearly read it out, but I feel going against Joey Barton is like going against the devil. Like I don't know. He scares me. Bristol Rovers are just like this like wildly unpredictable, like Wild West team. But yeah, Mansfield, if I had to choose one, of course, I'd go for Clough the Magic Dragon all day.
Mm. Right, that's it then. Anyway, for me,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
time for you.
Yeah, that's it. So we'll quickly recap last week's bomb-proof trebles, and then we'll move on to this week's bomb-proof treble. We've already kind of done it, so I won't spend too long on it. But to reiterate, it was just the one team. We had Ipswich against Gillingham. Ipswich got the job done. Nice little 1-0. Then we had Sheffield Wednesday away at Burton. They were the biggest price, I think. 1-2-0.
Yeah, they were.
And then Bolton, as Tom mentioned earlier, red card, went 1-0 down against Morecambe, levelled it, but with, seconds left. It was way, way, way too late. So this week we've got an absolute firecracker. It's a big old price, and Tom's going to deliver it on a platter for you.
Yeah, so this is the biggest price bomb-proof treble we've had, certainly, that's been pre-made on Matchbook, and I think probably the biggest price treble we've had for a fair while. So we're going to go for Forest at home to Stoke, QPR away at Barnsley, and Tranmere away at Walsall. So all of those wrapped up nicely, pay 13.0. That's best price from Matchbook. And again, remember, Matchbook will beat the price if it is bettered at any point up until Saturday 3 p.m. Elsewhere, just let us know on Twitter, social media, and we will get in touch with Matchbook and they will reboost that price to beat whatever competitor is potentially offering better out there. So yeah, £10 example stake would return you £130 on that. If you used your £20 risk-free sign-up offer with Matchbook, TFB podcast being the sign-up code, that'd get you £260 potentially risk-free. So it's a big old bit of money that we could potentially win this weekend.
Yeah, and again, we got Tranmere, automatic promotion chaser, QPR, playoff / automatic, Forest, playoff / automatic. I don't know. Let's dream. But yeah, anyway, Three teams doing really, really well this season. We just need them to click on the same day. That's all we need. But yeah, huge price. As Tom mentioned, get in touch with us on Twitter if it's not the biggest price, and we'll correct it. T_FB podcast. We're almost at 2,000 followers, and our contact at Matchbook has let me know there will be a giveaway courtesy of Matchbook when we reach 2,000 followers. So help us reach that goal, and then you could win the mystery giveaway.
What is? I'm intrigued. I don't know what it is.
You don't check the WhatsApp group then, mate.
Really not as diligently as you do. No, I missed that.
Yeah, you know, even Tom doesn't know, but me and Matchbook do know, so we're good. Tom, let's move on to fantasy football, mate.
Oh, crikey, yeah. How are we doing?
It's kind of all over the place again.
Yeah, it is all over the place. I got 49 points, which is slightly above average. We've got a new leader in the Football Betting Podcast Fantasy Football League. Do you want me to go through the top 10, or do you want to talk about how you're doing?
Well, let's just say I got 53 points this week.
Oh.
Yeah. And let's
strong performance, mate.
Yeah, and then let's leave it there. Who's in the top 10?
Right, top 10. We've got David Doherty at 10, then going up from 10 to 1. Nathan Brunskill, Cameron Nags, Luke Stevens, Oliver Hogburn, Alpha M9K, Casper's Graver. Oh, sorry, mate. Slaughtered that one. Chris Hindle in third, Chantel Crookshanks in second, and David Brown in first with Browntown. Whopping 80 points for David Brown this week. 1,525 points is the number that David's got at the top of the league. So it's February. It's still not too late to join the league. If you've got more than that, if you're around that, you think you could potentially overtake him come the end of the season, please do let us know. We'll give you the fantasy football code, and then you can fight it out for the £20 free bet that's on us for the winner come the end of the season. It's a big old league, isn't there? We've got 261 people in the league. So really, really competitive in there. Very competitive top half of that. So yeah, please do get in touch if you want to join.
No, the whole thing is competitive. The whole thing, because I've moved up to 253rd, which is a disaster. It's absolutely heartbreaking.
That is so bad.
I know it is. I know.
You've not even got 1,000 points yet.
Yeah, well, it's coming. It's on its way. Thank you for listening. Please follow us on Twitter. Please gamble responsibly if you are going to bet this weekend. If you want to take advantage of that Matchbook offer, final time, TFB podcast is your sign-up code.
Yeah, and we'd really appreciate a rating or review wherever you listen to your podcast if you enjoyed the show. And that is everything. Thank you for your time, and we'll hope to see you again next week. Good luck for any bets you put on this weekend.